Hi everybody, welcome back to Texas One Step Hikes the AT. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoy the content that I have to put out as I prep for the Appalachian Trail. So last week I started a video on explaining what I'm doing to prepare for the trail, and I got through the physical aspect of training in my video, explaining that, and now I'm going into the second thing I'm doing to train, which is more of a mental preparation. So hope you enjoy the content, and let's get going. The physical prep is one thing. There's also the intellectual and mental prep that I've been trying to do. I've read so many books, well, I don't know, 5 or 6 books about the Appalachian Trail over the last 2 years. The last one I read was for mental, kind of to help mentally prepare, and that was Appalachian Trials. I love that book. I'm sure if you've watched other videos recently, like in the last 6 months, that's something that's come up that people are doing, reading as one of the books to prepare. It's really good. It's very practical. The author, and forgive me, I can't think of his name right now, gives some like concrete things to do to help you while you're on trail with the mental aspects of it, because we all know it's physical, and any of us who have been preparing or watching enough videos know that it's also a big part of it's mental, and it's that mental strain that happens particularly after you've been on it for a while. That's a big part of it. And I did mention that I'm doing some online training with a gentleman who has done, I thought he had done the Appalachian Trail, and I think he has, but he may have also done the PCT, I'm not sure. Or maybe he's done the PCT and not the Appalachian. But anyway, he had someone kind of do a little program for us virtually on also the mental aspect. She's done the PCT, and she's a kind of coach for, I can't think of what the actual term is that she calls it, but it's kind of like mental preparation and mental strength. And she does this for a career, so and not just for people preparing for through hikes, but she does this for, you know, other things too. And so that was good. Just the big advice is not looking at things in negative ways, you know, just prepping yourself, knowing that things are going to happen, things that are out of your control, and weighing those things in and looking at them in ways that aren't necessarily negative. For instance, instead of getting too torn up about, you know, the 8th day of rain and cold or whatever, if it's really bothering you, you know, try to look at the positive aspects of it, and then if it's causing you real issues, what can I do to make this, you know, better for me, and then do those steps. She also mentioned, you know, prepping by looking at your end goal, whatever that is for that day, for that week, for the whole trip. But and seeing what you think you have to do to reach your end goal. What steps do you have to take for that? She also did really recommend, and I'm already planning this too, is to have smaller goals as well, and what it takes to get to those smaller goals, because obviously, and any of us who have lived long enough have probably heard this, if you have smaller goals, you have more frequent successes. once you reach those smaller goals. So that's really cool too. And just to kind of drive home the points that she was making, and about trying to be positive. And she was saying, not positive where you're putting shiny sprinkles on a pile of poop. Not the word she used, but we'll keep it rated G here. She's talking about if there's an issue, the issue's not good, then figuring out what you need to do in order to make it okay, instead of letting it just weigh on you and weigh on you and weigh on you until you're ready to quit. All very good, and I'm sure I'm not explaining it in exactly the right way, but it was a very good hour, well spent, and to just drive home the point of what she was saying. I actually have a quote in my personal email line, my tagline at the end of my email. That's a quote from John Milton in Paradise Lost, because I have a degree in English and I love literature, so that's my favorite book of all time. But he says, the mind is a place in itself. It can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven. And man, isn't that the truth? It's all how we look at it, how we perceive it. And so obviously you can't always be positive and happy, but you can temper those moments when you're not, where things have happened that are really not good, with just having that knowledge of how fortunate we are to be out there, what a blessing it is to those of us who have been dreaming about this and actually getting to do it. And just trying to keep that in mind, and then mitigating the circumstances as much as possible so that when these things happen, get off trail for a day or 2 days, or even a week if that's what it takes to get you back in the right mental state, if that's where you are, so that you can keep on going and get your perspective back. So anyway, I try to live my life by those rules. That's one of my previous videos. I did say that I'm a pretty positive person for the most part. And believe me, it's not because my life has been a bed of roses, because I can tell you there have been a lot more thorns if you look at it. Or there have been, maybe not more thorns, but there have been plenty of thorns in those roses. So, but you just do the best you can and you keep moving forward. And you reward yourself with those little wins, right? So anyway, so I'm preparing mentally as well. I'm reading the books. Of course, I've been watching AT Thru-Hikes for about 3 or 4 years now. Probably 4 years now, actually. I love them, and every one of them has taught me something about the trail, has taught me something about what I do or don't want to do in my own videos, and helped me realize how badly I do want to do this. Anyway, so the other thing, back to the Appalachian Trials book, that the author suggested is, for the times when you're going to be down, because no matter how positive you are and how grateful you are, you're going to run into some times where it's rough. You might have sprained your ankle, whatever the issue is. And he recommended very strongly that you write down, before you go on trail and take it with you, the 10 reasons that you are doing the trail. Really think about it. Think about yourself. Think about why you want to do it, and write those things down so that you have those with you when you have moments of despair, or you just look at them on a regular basis to remind yourself. Then he also recommended that you write down 10 reasons, or not 10 reasons, 10 feelings or 10 things that you would feel like if you quit the trail. So how would you feel if you quit the trail, and what were the 10 things that you think you would feel like? And then the other one, of course, was the 10 things that you would feel if you complete the trail, and complete the hike. So those are all really good things to do, I think. So that's why I'm sharing them with those of you who may be watching this to prep for your own hike in the next year or two, or 5 years, or whatever. And then, so that's my kind of intellectual and mental prep that I'm doing. Reading, watching videos, taking notes, and so on. And another thing I'm doing is practicing these videos with you all. You're so gracious and supportive, and I appreciate that. And I'm just really excited about all that, about sharing my videos with you. I've been watching Nani hikes this year. She's wonderful. I'm sure any of you who are watching this are aware of her. She's incredible, and she's already started, and I love watching her. She's just got such a big heart. And this year I'm also watching Bartman Outdoors. He started January 1st, which hats off to him. But I'm going to tell you, anything I can do to avoid like big snowstorms and continued cold, I'm doing. That's why I'm starting later. And I know I'll probably get in some snow and maybe even some snowstorms, but I figure they won't last long and it'll be warm, relatively quickly. So anyway, you guys have listened to me again, rambling on and on. So I really appreciate you, and I hope that you're enjoying your weekend. It's beautiful where I'm living right now. We're having unusually warm weather right now, and I love it. So thanks for following along. If you liked and you think you want to see me in my adventures traveling from Clingman's Dome in the Smokies to Katahdin, and then flip-flopping back to the Clingman's Dome and finishing up at Springer Mountain, or probably Amicalola Falls State Park, we'll see, then please subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time.